So, good day to you, good night, good evening, yeah, whatever time it may be at your side of the world. But yeah, here I've got a flex tutorial that we're going to be dealing with here. So yeah, as you can see, I've laid out a couple of flex properties here. These are the properties that we're going to be using for the tutorial here. I just wanted to give you guys a brief explanation on what these flex properties are. There are many flex properties, flex justify content, align items, but just give you guys a basic overview of what flex is all about. So you guys, it's good to start with these basic properties to make everything easier for you, instead of cramming yourself for all those lots of properties, and at the end of the day you're not going to master any of them. You're not going to get any of them down. So we're going to get ahead without wasting much of your time. So we've got display flex here. So this is what we're going to use to declare the flex. We're going to use it with our container to declare, to tell the browser that we're going to be using a flex item. So we're going to be using flex properties here. So also there's the flex flow, which is going to have our flex direction, which we're going to be setting. So we're going to be we're going to have having to decide whether we're going to use columns or row for our flex items. So we also have the flex wrap, as whether or not items are going to be wrapping underneath each other, whether the items are going to be going underneath each other as the browser width shortens, as we decrease the browser width, whether or not the items are going to be wrapping over. So then we have the flex order here, which is what we're going to be using with the flex item. So we have our flex order. This is the order of the flex. So by default, our items. So let me just show you guys this diagram here to make you guys better understand what's going on. So here we got our flex container here, also known as the parent box or the flex box, and here we have our flex items, which is also known as the child items. So for the flex order, as you can see, this box is here first. Let's assume these are header, then you have the main, and you get the footer here. Yeah, header, main, and footer. So what the flex order does is that by default, your browser, the flex order is the header. If you write in your HTML, header first, then main, then footer, yeah, that's how it will be by default. But you can change the order. You can make your footer actually be your header with flex. So yeah, that's something you can do. So the flex grow, this is the ability of the flex items, the items inside the flex, these items, the ability for them to grow inside within the parent container, the ability for them to grow. And then flex shrink, yeah, also the ability for them to shrink, of course the opposite of grow, for them to shrink inside the box, whether or not they're going to shrink. And the flex basis is also the ability for the items to grow and shrink based on a width that you have. So we're going to be setting it to auto, so that it's going to look at a width or a height, so it's going to flex the items based on the width that we've got there. So let's just go ahead with the code, with HTML. So as always, I've written down my HTML tags. If you haven't written them down, go ahead and pause the video and write them down now. So we're just gonna go ahead without wasting much of your time again. So inside our body, I'm gonna be declaring 3 sections here. So as is caps lock here. So we go section. Oh, I'm making the same mistake. I like him. So we got a section here. So we'll go ahead and paste that. You just type ctrl Control D to just copy them like that. It saves a lot of time. So go ahead and just give it names, sec1, sec2, and sec3. So yeah, we're gonna have to give them a different class names, you know, to identify them separately. Okay, class, yeah, class. I'm gonna give them the same name as their name. So class equals to. You can give them your own names that you can remember, but it's always easier to simplify it so you can then be able to represent it in your CSS. So set 3. So yes, I've done that now. So I'm just gonna have to give them a wrapper, which is going to be my parent container. So let's go ahead and give them a div wrapper. So always make sure that you give you create a wrapper and create a wrapper, and then you put the flex items inside it, because that's going to be your main parent box. So which of course within it is when where your child boxes are going to be flexing. Child boxes are going to be flexing. So but for this we're going to be creating a small scale flex example, so you guys can understand how the various boxes you know, really go ahead with doing their flex business or whatever, if that's what we can call it. But so let's go ahead with it and div wrapper. So yeah, I think we've gotten the things down, the HTML down. So I'm gonna go ahead here and do an internal CSS. Internal CSS. Yeah, you can go ahead and do an external one, but yeah, it's easier to do internal ones because this is just a small scale tutorial. We're not going to be writing a lot of codes here, so you can just go ahead and write an internal CSS style. So just go ahead and try out style tag text CSS. Close that down. Yeah, I make a mistake. Style. So yeah, once you've done that, now we're just gonna go ahead to call our wrapper selector, which is this. Yeah, because it's a class, we need to put our period here, then the name of the class. I hope you guys know how to do that already. So let's go ahead. So with our wrapper, we're gonna declare our display flex property. So we're gonna say display flex. Yeah, like the browser know that, yeah, we're gonna be dealing with flexes here, and then which is our flex flow. Yeah, coming back here, you can see the flex flow. Instead of the flex flow contains the flex direction, which is whether it's going to be flowing in columns or in rows, and the flex wrap, whether it's going to wrap when the width of the browser window it gets decreased. So let's move on with that. So the direction, we're going to set it in a row for this tutorial, in a row. So flex flow is in row, and then the direction, the wrap, sorry, we'll set the wrap to wrap. Yeah, this is a shorthand property for flex direction and flex wrap. So you can go ahead and write down flex direction row again here, a new line for it, but it's always easier to set them up, give them a shorthand property and just list them out like this. Yeah, goes for a faster work. So let's just go ahead and give it a width. I would like to give it a width here, width of 500 px. It's going to be small, yes, but that is all just for simplicity, so like you guys understand how it works. You guys will get it down once I save the page and I loaded everything up. So set the height, give it a height of 100 here. Yeah, so now I'm gonna go ahead to my flex items. Now I've set the display flex, the flex flow. The browser knows that now I'm using flex, and the browser is going to be responding to that. So now we're going to set our flex items. I'm just going to do a group selector for them. So dot sec1 dot sec2. Yeah, so the dot, yeah, make a mistake here, I need a command here. Yeah, and dot sec sect3. So these are different classes here for our sections. Alright, wait, I need to keep the wrapper border here so that you guys side value border 1 give it 2px sol 2px, so give it a red color so that you guys see it clearly. So let's go ahead, let's give it a background color, give them a background color, so background